Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Geeked Out podcast. It is your host, Tyler, here. We got Jaden on top this time. Well, I guess he's always been on top. Pause. But we got him directly on top because James is not with us today. He is currently sleeping. His goofy ass.
On me.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I probably shouldn't say ass. I realized that we can't curse in the first minute because of YouTube, but fuck it. It's okay. Anyway, guys, welcome to the Geeked Out podcast. The show that we always talk about anything that we want because, this is my podcast. Well, our podcast, technically. So we can talk whatever the fuck we want. So we've been talking a lot about sports, but you know what? Fuck sports, Sometimes you need to just go out, watch a movie, and oh, look, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantomania came out last weekend. And we're a little late on it, and that's also part of the reason we're covering it today because James is not here today. He hasn't seen it. So we were like, perfect. Why not just the best of both worlds? We got that motherfucker out of here. We got me and Jaden have seen Ant-Man. We're going to give our thoughts on it. But before we do that, if you aren't following along, make sure you are following along on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, where you can listen to our journey to become the greatest podcasters ever, even though we just bullshit half the time. And then you can also watch on YouTube at Officially Geeked Out. And then we also have a TikTok, Instagram, for highlights of the podcast. And then eventually we'll start putting more videos up on YouTube, stream maybe on YouTube or maybe even Twitch or wherever the hell we're gonna stream. And somewhere. And then we're also just gonna have fun and doing it. Maybe it's just me and Jaden. Maybe we kick James off the island. Nah, just kidding. James is always on the podcast. For now, anyway.
Right, until we're over it.
Until we're sick of his shit.
There's gonna be a certain point where we're just like, I can't do this anymore.
I can't keep doing this.
He does this every time.
He do this every week. Why? But yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania came out last weekend. I don't really know where to start with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. It was supposed to be the kickoff to Phase 5, which, I mean, it is the kickoff to Phase 5. But
Was it a good kickoff?
Definitely, there were a lot of expectations for this movie. I would say a little bit too much expectations, which is what led Ant-Man and the Wasp to be... right now, I believe it's tied with Eternals as the lowest rated Marvel movie according to Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I don't trust that one, though.
Yeah, but it's also been pretty heavily bashed on pretty much every platform, so as to where it matches with Eternals, I don't know. But apparently, people think it was pretty bad. Because, like I said, I think part of it is because of the expectations that they had with this movie. Because, it's like, they're setting up Kang, even though Kang was already set up with Loki, but that's besides the point. But yeah, it was supposed to set up Kang, and they were supposed to have this, epic battle, and all this fun, stupid stuff that I don't know why they expected it, because Kang is supposed to be the main baddie throughout this whole phase, and the next phase it'd be supposed to be the next Thanos.
Right. Well, here's the thing why there was so much expectation, and by the way, so I trust IMBD more than everything else. So they gave it a 6.5 out of 10. I didn't check anybody else, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so it was. Everybody was like, this is supposed to be like an amazing movie. Like, they're in the quantum realm, which is new territory. Like, for an entire project, this is brand new territory. Kang is supposed to be this Thanos level character and blah 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 blah, right? What they didn't do is the writing didn't do any of the movie justice. You took your comedic character and didn't make him funny. So, I mean, if you're going to do that, you're going to have a lot of action, right? No, you're going to rip off Star Wars, and then the only real battle you're going to have is a hand-to-hand combat for not even 5 minutes where I don't know if they're married, but Wasp comes and saves you, even though she was irrelevant for the entire movie. So, like, why is it called Ant-Man and the Wasp when she wasn't really there? So, like, they just didn't do that movie, like, any justice. And I know in one of the trailers, you hear Kang, like, talking to Ant-Man, like, very serious and, like, wanting to strike a deal. And, it, like, what it was led to be believed is that he was gonna make a deal for Ant-Man to go back in time to where he could spend those times with Cassie and watch her grow up for whatever he needed. That's what the trailer was like led a lot of people to believe. And then you see in the movie, it's just like, oh yeah, if you don't give me this, your daughter dies, like every other Marvel movie. So like there were just so many problems within this movie. It was so dumb.
Well, yeah. Well, because obviously, well, just to clarify for everybody watching, yeah, it's or if you couldn't tell by the way Jaden's talking, we didn't like the movie. More so, I mean, I would say more so me because I'm very critical with movies nowadays, especially with Marvel.
I was just very disappointed, like
Yeah,
because
but
I think I gave it like a 6 out of 10. Like
yeah,
it wasn't
I would
good.
say, but do you think it was because of the high expectations that you had of the movie that you were like disappointed? Because obviously,
No,
well, because it wasn't like it was still like a mediocre movie, but I just want to like think like because you had different expectations than I did.
so
So
I I didn't even have that high of expectations.
okay,
Like, cause I've gotten to the point of Marvel where I expect mediocre, which is really sad. But that's what they've been putting out, so that's why I expect. I gave this one a little bit more hope because because of Kang and how we saw Jonathan Majors his acting in Loki. So I already knew he was a solid pick for Kang. So I was like, okay, like this could like this has a lot of potential to like be really really good and kind of get back onto that right foot for Marvel, especially for it being um, a brand new phase. And no, it was just disappointing. And I saw somebody on TikTok saying like, I don't know why everybody's hating on it. Like, there's so much more meaning behind this movie. And I'm like, yeah, but they didn't have to make it garbage, though. I don't care if there's some deep meaning behind it. If you're gonna make a movie trash, it's gonna be trash with deep meaning. Like,
what was the deep meaning behind it?
I don't even remember. Like even the deep meaning. It was stupid. It was like,
I just
yeah,
didn't. I
I
just
don't know.
yeah.
It just wasn't a good move. Like, just because there's more depth behind the movie, like for a plot, like doesn't mean that what we just watched was good. Like, it wasn't. The movie was not good. The comedy was not good. The action scenes were very little. Like, I was cool with Ant-Man, like how he like fought in the end and how often he was changing sizes. Like, I appreciated that because that is more like Ant-Man. Like, that's the actual, superhero part. So it was cool to see him do it a lot more frequently. But
Yeah.
Cassie was the worst. I kind of wanted her to die. Janet had the most character development in that movie, which was cool.
Bro, Janet was fucking
Yeah, but
trash.
she was trash. Yeah, I know. Hank was like, whatever.
There. He was.
Yeah, same with Hope. Like, there was nothing going on for this movie. Everybody was so lame.
Yeah. It was funny because I saw I saw a video that was like, yeah, like Cassie was like really was like not good, but she's kind of hot, so therefore it's okay. And I'm just like, no, it's not okay. I don't care how bad she is. Like, just because the actress is bad doesn't mean her character isn't trash. No, yeah, no, I thought the movie was just, like I said, mediocre. The story was boring. Everything was boring. The characters were boring. Like, nothing was happening. It was just like, I don't know. And then the quantum realm just didn't make sense to me. Or like, and like now that I thought about it, I'm like, I don't know. It's just, someone pointed out to me. I was like, oh yeah, well now they're like saying like, oh, in Endgame like 5 hours is like 5 days or whatever, or 5 years type shit. And then go on.
Because me and Jonah also talked about this, like 2 days ago, and I said the same thing. I was like, bro, that's like a huge plot hole. He was like, no, it's different for this one because so Kang has the time chair, and when you see Janet like hooking up the portal and everything, it's led to believe that she put in the time that they left or like went into the quantum realm so that no time actually passed.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
But I did hear that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good catch, Jonah.
Right. Jonah on it.
Yeah, you can hear more about Jonah and Jaden on the Pop Culture Roundup podcast that Jaden is also on. I don't know if you guys have a new episode. I know you guys were talking about doing a new episode based off Ant-Man. So if you want to hear more of Jaden's thoughts on Ant-Man that aren't on this podcast, and you also want to hear our buddy Jonah's thoughts about the movie, you can also check it out on there on YouTube. I think you guys stream everywhere on there too. But
yeah, we got a special guest feature in Tyson DeGrasse, whatever his last name
Neil
is.
deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah, him.
Did you guys? Is it actually him?
You'll have to find out.
Because I was thinking, like, ain't no way that they got Neil deGrasse fucking Tyson on their fucking podcast. But, you know, maybe they did. I don't know. I won't break the illusion. But... But yeah, go check that out. Yeah, no. And it's funny because... No, yeah, I said the entire time, or like during the whole movie, I was like, this just is Star Wars. It's fucking like Attack of the Clones. It's Revenge of the Sith. Like throughout like multiple times, especially throughout the last little part. And then I was like texting my buddy too, and he's like, "Did it like remind you of Star Wars?" And I was like, "Yes, it did." So I'm glad that everybody's coming to this realization that they are ripping off Star Wars.
Because like even like there was a point where I think they were all like marching along, and you hadn't said anything out loud yet. And in my head, I'm like, "This is Star Wars," and you're like, "They're ripping off Star Wars," and I was like, "Yeah, I know." Like this is crazy.
What did you think about my man MODOK?
Okay, so here's the thing with MODOK. His character in the movie started good. By the end of that movie, was the worst character out of all of them. I hated him more than Cassie, and that's hard to do.
Ugh.
But I don't mind how he looks. He's not supposed to look good or like he's supposed to look gross and like weird. They did that to a like T. And even his suit was like pretty cool. Like his weapons connected to the suit. It was all cool. gave him some of the worst lines you could have given someone, especially a villain. Like, yeah, I hated MODOK.
Yeah. See, yeah, and I agreed with you. Like I told you that I'm like I didn't care about how he looked because like everybody's like, oh, he looks like Mr. Electro, and like yes, he does, but like maybe they could have made him look a little bit better. But like honestly, he's supposed to be like this gross fucking like. How are you supposed to make MODOK look in live action?
That was tough.
Yeah,
I think they did really good, honestly.
exactly. Like yeah, everybody was like, oh yeah, but like I mean, what are you gonna do? But yeah, no, he's very gross as toward the end.
At least I'll die in Avenger. No, you won't. Shut up.
Yep, bro. The Avengers have fallen, bro. have you been seeing that photo going around where it's like the end? It's like the end game like posters. Remember the end game posters where it was like like Avenge the Fallen, and it showed like all the people that got dusted or whatever, but it was like MODOK.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'll have to send it to you, but. No, it was just so cringy. The dialogue was cringy, especially when Cassie's like, "Oh, like just don't be a dick." He's like, "Oh, look at me, I'm a dick." And she's like, "It's never too late to be a dick." And as soon as I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, they said that, and I was like, "This is what Marvel's come to."
Yeah.
Like this. Trash.
So yeah, it's just cringe. Like at this point, and like. It's sad to say, 'cause, I mean, you are more of a Marvel fan than I am. Like, we've already established that on this podcast. But I'm still a Marvel fan, and still like, like, I want it to be good. And like, and we had the talk or a conversation that you were like, well, the problem is that like, people now think Endgame expectations, like they expect like this whole like fucking thing where, and like now that Endgame did that, and now these movies after that don't have those expectations, don't have all that fucking like shit, it like ruins it. But to me, like I would just want something good. That's all I want.
See, because like what I think is like the first saga, the first 3 phases was done so well. Like, obviously, you have your hiccups. I think me and Jonah went over it one time, like, just as a casual conversation, and I think there were only, like, 3 movies that were not good in the entirety of the first 3 phases. And, like, so that, it was all done very, very well, and, like, there was, a lot of build-up, a lot of anticipation, and then like with Infinity War, they lost, and you're like, holy crap, like, whoa, that's it. And then Endgame happens, and like it's this giant fighting movie, and like Iron Man dies, and like all of these emotions, and then it's kind of like, okay, well then where do you go from here? Like, how do you start that over, especially with everything that you've just given us, all of this crossover extravaganza? How are you going to now go to another solo film and like not be the same that you've been doing? Because now you've given people something different that worked. You're gonna have to find a new formula for a solo movie for people to be like entertained, and I feel like they've been trying to do that and they haven't figured it out, and they're just putting out trash. And then they were like, okay, well, we have Disney Plus, so you know what we should do? Let's start throwing out a bunch of shows. Like, maybe that's what the people want. But then you pissed off all of the fans because you threw out 15 different shows at the exact same time and didn't take care of any of them except for like the first couple. So you made the first couple good, and then all the rest trash. And then you're like, okay, well, that's not working. We'll start taking our time more, and and we'll go back to like movies. But the writing sucks. Like they're trying. I feel like they're trying to appease too many people, too many different audiences, all at the same time. Like, and it's just not working. Like, I I believe that the Marvel fans just want a good story at this point,
Yeah.
and like that's it. Just give us a good story, and don't be too predictable.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
mean, for predictability, it's kind of hard because it's the same. Like good guy win, bad guy lose, like type stuff.
but like
But
throw something like I I don't know about you, but for me, I had a little wow moment in Ant-Man, like how they made Darren. Spoiler alert. How they made, I guess all of that's spoiler, but anyway, how Darren was MODOK, like because I didn't know about that or anything, and so like that. If you just threw in like little pieces like that, that's like I appreciated that. I liked that. It was cool because they took something that like didn't make sense with MODOK even just being there into it like oh shoot he did get like thrown into the quantum realm like and now you can connect that so it's cool so I appreciate those kinds of things. um Obviously it is hard to be like unpredictable in a superhero movie, but just throw in some unpredictability.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, I just want something good. I'm tired of like watching something Marvel and then like coming out of it angry or disappointed or like nothing in the middle. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like the it's funny because it's like the only like if you take out, I mean, granted, depending on opinion, but uh, the like the only like real good movie in the MCU, again, depending on opinion, because I think there's a couple good movies that were in Phase Four, but everybody agrees that Far From Home or No Way Home, excuse me, was probably the best movie in Phase Four, and
Yep.
And the problem with that is because, yeah, it had that expectation. Crossover, nostalgia, like all this shit. Like, to me, like, the story, I didn't really like the story of No Way Home. Like, I get it. Yeah, like, it was, like, alright. But the reason people love it is because, Toby was in it, Andrew was in it, uh, William Dafoe's Green Goblin, we had Dr. Octopus back, we had all these characters back that we grew up with, we loved to see, and they killed their roles. And so, I mean, the story was all right, but it was on the back half of we have all these like shiny toys that you used to like back in the day. So, and to me, that's like not good if you're like relying on like just cameos and like all this stuff to like have your movie be good. And have said that about multiple like I've said that about Star Wars too when Obi-Wan came out, because Obi-Wan like doesn't have the best writing either, to be honest, but had the fact that they brought Obi-Wan and Anakin back and they had those scenes together, and that's what made it a really good movie or a good show.
Right.
So I mean, I think we're starting to get out of that phase in cinema again, finally, where we stop relying on nostalgia, and we're finally moving on. But yeah, it was just I don't like that. I mean, and like I said, there was good movies like Shang-Chi was good.
Right.
Depending on who you ask, Doctor Strange, I think Doctor Strange was good, but I know a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah. Same with Black Panther too. Like I thought, I thoroughly enjoyed Black Panther too.
Yeah, so yeah, I thought it was just like whatever, but
That's because it had one of my favorite Marvel characters.
yeah,
So I'm a little biased towards that movie.
yeah.
But yeah, what do you think Marvel needs to do? What needs to be fixed to not lose to DC one day.
Not lose to DC.
That might happen.
I don't know. Well, I mean, probably within the few years, maybe when James Gunn's films like actually like come to be, because we got Shazam coming out, and that is expected to be a box office bomb. Yeah. Like, it is not expected to do well whatsoever. And I think part of that is because James Gunn is like taking over the role, and so like they're like, why the fuck do I need to watch this movie when the universe is about to be reset? Right. Because I think it's like Shazam. I think it's Shazam, Aquaman, and Flash are like the three movies, and then after that, we'll see what they're doing.
Blue Beetle.
Oh yeah, Blue Beetle. Yeah, too.
I'm stoked. I'm actually stoked for that movie.
Yeah, I am excited for Blue Beetle. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, so I think like once James Gunn like movies like actually come in, like he still has a hand in like these projects that are coming out, but like once like his like actual like, okay, this is what we're doing, this is how like the universe is gonna be set, this is gonna be our Superman, this is gonna be our Batman, like all this stuff, then I think they can take over, assuming that Marvel is doing what it's doing now. But for Marvel, I mean, they just need to go back to formula, like to what they were doing. Like they just need to get better writers. They need to just take their time, not really rush the projects. That's the thing. Like they've always like, I don't know. I feel like Marvel has always been hard on its visual effects team. Like they literally make them work like till the pretty much the day of the premiere. So, but yeah, they just need to take their time with everything. Like I honestly think they should delay like Avengers and like all this stuff, because like I mean they have their next one is gonna be Guardians, I believe, when that comes out in May.
Yep.
But I know, and I also, I don't know, I think they need to not focus on like these quote unquote side characters. Like Ant-Man's not a side character, but like, why am I getting a show about She-Hulk? Why am I getting a show about Agatha? Like, why am I getting a show about like, and I know James is gonna be pissed about it, but why am I getting a show about Loki? Like,
I mean, the Loki one, after it being out, that one makes sense, but everybody else, they need characters. they killed everybody off from the original.
And like I get that, but like you still have like you still have Doctor Strange, you still have like Spider-Man, and like you're developing these characters like Shang-Chi and like all this stuff, like people that are going to be a major factor in this so-called like timeline for the like MCU, like because with Shang-Chi, like it looks like he's going to be, or at least the rings are going to be more important moving forward. But like I said, why am I getting a show about She-Hulk? Like, unless she is like a very like important character going forward, like why? Like, I don't know. Like the Agatha one like really pisses me off, because like she was not part of the plan, and then all of a sudden she gets popular on WandaVision. And then they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to make a show about her. And that was the plan the entire time. No, the fuck it wasn't. She had a catchy theme song that all the fans ate up. And then you were like, oh, yep, we're going to do that.
See, like me personally, I don't even mind any of that. Because, like, it doesn't hurt anything. Like, and if it's good, it's good. It's like, it's just more story to characters we haven't seen or we don't know yet. Like, yeah, it might not even pertain to like the big thing that's like about to be going on or anything like that, but I've always been a guy that likes quote unquote side quests, like that kind of stuff. So to me, that's kind of like how I see it. Like, yeah, you got the main story, and like along the way, like we're getting a couple new characters too at the same time. So like me personally, like I enjoy it. Like I still think they need to get better, but I do like even like Agatha. I like that idea. Um, there was another one that like
but
was annoying.
But to me, because I agree, because you can have like, oh, everything build up to this, like in the Infinity Saga, you had everything like build up to Thanos, but at the same time you still had like stuff like Spider-Man was going to school, or like, you know, like all this, like Doctor Strange was figuring out how to use his powers, like type stuff. And like it all felt like connected, like, and that's the biggest thing I am taking away from phase 4 as of right now, and like these phases, is that like all of it didn't feel connected. It all felt like, and the only way it did feel connected is if they mentioned, oh yeah, well, the, you know, the blip, or, you know, they mention like movies prior to it, but like everything else like felt like disconnected, like it was its own little thing. And that's not a terrible thing, because I do like it when, you know, oh, I don't need to have the Avengers for, you know, this little thing. But every movie, or at least a majority of every movie in the Infinity Saga, like felt like, okay, well, this is building up to where it'll all line up for Infinity War. And that's not what I'm getting from phase 4. Like, I don't see all of this building up to the Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars.
Really?
Not necessarily, no.
I see quite a bit of connection.
No.
Because you look at Spider-Man, and that's where we first even get to know about multiverse. And then you get to Doctor Strange, goes into the multiverse. You look at Loki season 1. He's inside of the timeline talking about the multiverse. Look at, I guess Ant-Man is now phase 5, so whatever.
But if you take out the multiverse aspect, what makes them all connected?
Well, so what does any of like phase 1 have in connection?
To be fair, though, I will say that, like, well, phase 1 is a little bit different, because phase 1 is like all of them, like their origin, so it's just building up to their origin.
Even phase 2, you have Iron Man 3, you have Winter Soldier, you have Guardians of the Galaxy. Like those 3 alone, there's not a single connection in any of their stories or anything. Like Iron Man 3, Iron Man's going through.
I would say the only thing I would say, mine is Guardians, would be for phase 2 is more so like the aftermath of like the Avengers. It's like, okay, this is where we at, like aliens are now, and then it's all of them like really trying to adjust like after, well, minus Ant-Man, I guess. But granted, they all say like, oh yeah, well, they didn't know about Thanos really, but I don't know. I just felt like it was all like connected, like everything in the Infinity, like I felt like had a purpose that led to Infinity War. And I don't feel like every like movie or show in phase 4 had that in a way.
To be honest, like I don't feel like anything has ever really been connected until phase 3, because we were getting to the point of like that final battle. Like I don't think there was ever a point where I was like, okay, this connects, unless it was one hero's solo film, like Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. I understand how those connect, like Cap 1, 2, and 3, Thor 1, 2, and 3. Like to me, though, like I can see connections and whatever. I've never seen any actual connection besides, unless you want to like talk about like kind of like morals or like that kind of feel from a movie. But yeah, like I didn't really see any connection until like phase 3.
No. Well, like I said, everything like I feel like builds up to Infinity. And granted, we don't know because the King Dynasty could like be this all great movie, and then it connects everything. Like, oh, that's why in fucking WandaVision, or like
Well, because
all this shit.
even if you think about it, like we finished phase 3, and like you're like half the original Avengers like died, right? So like, what do? You start over with new heroes. So I've always seen like phase 4 as the buildup. It's phase 1, but with new characters. So I don't even judge phase 4 all that hard, just because I understand this is the very beginning for something brand new. So I'm gonna give it that time that we gave phase 1. Now, obviously, I'm not saying it's as good as phase 1 or anything like that. Phase 1 was perfect. It was super good. Um, um, phase 4 obviously has its flaws and everything, but I don't judge it um, based off of like connection or anything, just because to me and in my eyes it is that phase 1 feel. We got to get some new characters in there. We got to understand their story, kind of like their background, um, and whatnot. I just think the whole phase 4 felt weird to me because I'm used to at the end of each phase there was some huge like movie, like they fought somebody big and they didn't. Like you got New York, you got Avenger, or which phase 2 was weird too because they did Age of
Yeah.
Ultron like halfway through. Um, but even then, you have another Avengers movie, and then you have Infinity and Endgame. Phase 4, the last thing, like the most that you had was No Way Home, and like I think that was one of the I don't know where it fell. I think it was one of the first 3 movies, somewhere in there. Um, and then you ended with Black Panther. So it also just kind of felt off to me how they went about the phase.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, we'll see when the King Dynasty comes out in Secret Wars, because when does Secret Invasion come out?
The show?
Yeah.
It got pushed back, I believe.
Yeah, because I totally forgot. Because I assume that Guardians is the next project, but I know
No, it is.
I know Secret Invasion was supposed to come out at some point, but I don't know. Like I said, I just want to see what they do, how they can get better. I think, yeah.
Maybe Secret Invasion does come out before.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't have an official release date, and I know a lot of things just got pushed back, so that's why I'm led to believe that that's probably one of them. But it says Kevin Feige said spring of 2023, so it
That.
could be. I don't know. I don't like that.
You don't
No,
like that it was pushed back, or?
no, I don't like the idea of it being a show. Like
Oh.
that's the only thing that like actually pisses me off that I've seen from Marvel. Did that storyline so dirty.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll be the best show.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't
No.
care. I don't care. No, they turned an Avengers level threat into a TV show where there's not going to be all of the Avengers.
Well, isn't that what Secret Wars is supposed to be?
Well, no, yeah. But so like all I'm saying is they just disrespected like that storyline because all three are Avenger level threats like Secret Wars, Secret Invasion, and King Dynasty. But I don't know why they decided to make Secret Invasion so much lesser. Because to me, like it's it's the attack of Skrulls. It's the infiltration of Skrulls in the world population. It's if you could bring in the Super Skrull, which is a really good leeway into Fantastic Four. Because of the Skrulls, there's a storyline where the Avengers break up because nobody knows who is who. You could do it an Avengers disassembled. Like, there's a lot to what Secret Invasion could have been, but because they made it a TV show and right off bat, that means budget's way lower. So you're probably gonna get like maybe 3 main characters if you want, and that's it. So like it's upsetting because I really like the Secret Invasion storyline, and it's not gonna be how it could have and should have been. So
sad. No, yeah. No, I think they just need to focus on fucking. I don't know. Like I said, I think they need to not do these like side little things that aren't gonna be to their like that's gonna lead to the Kang Dynasty. Like, and as much as I liked it, like, why are you doing the holiday special? You know,
that's just for fun.
that's not what you told me when I said that. When we had that when we had that conversation, you're like, I didn't like it. I was like, what do you expect? It was just for fun. Yeah, but I hated it.
Yeah, no, I did hate it. No, I'm not denying that it was just for fun. I didn't like it whatsoever, though. I liked the Halloween one, but that was also just for fun.
The Halloween one.
You didn't see that one?
No, there's a Halloween one.
Yeah.
Oh, like the werewolf one.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night.
No, yeah, I didn't see that. I thought you meant like a Guardians Halloween. I was like, when did they do that?
No, yeah, watch Werewolf by Night. That's a good one. It was a cool, different take on Marvel, which you don't see very often. So I enjoyed it. It was good.
Okay. Well, we still got Phase 5 and then Phase 6, which we don't know all the movies that are going to be in Phase 6. So all we know is that, we got the 2 Avengers and then Fantastic Four and then Deadpool, I guess. And then we got rumors of the Spider-Man 4 and Shang-Chi 2.
Ghost Rider is now rumored.
Ghost Rider. Oh no! Unless it's not Nicolas Cage, I don't want to see Ghost Rider.
But you don't want to see Keanu Reeves as Ghost Rider?
I would watch it if it was Keanu, but
he showed some interest in the character. Now I'm not saying that means he's gonna get the role, but I think he'd play a good Ghost Rider. I think that'd be interesting.
I'm the Ghost Rider.
What else? That might be all that's kind of recently been announced.
Yeah, all I see is just rumors. Every day I go on Twitter and I just see like, oh, Robert Downey Jr. is expected to come back for Avengers.
He's done. Oh. They've made it clear that Robert Downey Jr. is not coming back.
Who said that?
Marvel Studios.
Kevin Feige said that?
Yeah, they said they're not pursuing that.
They might not want to pursue it, but give it a couple years, they might need some money, so they might want to go get it.
Years?
Well, because that's when the Kang Dynasty comes out, no? In like a few years.
No, I think it comes out like either. I think it got pushed back. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I mean,
bring in Tom Cruise as Iron Man.
Who you, James?
No, that's why. Like,
James always be like, I would love to see what Tom Cruise's Iron Man would be like. And I'm like, nobody wants that.
Be surprised. I'm indifferent about it. I don't care, but if you wanted Iron Man back and you not bring him RDJ, like that's definitely an avenue. Kind of how they did John Krasinski and Doctor Strange. They pulled him solely off of fan asking for it.
Yeah. Well,
like that's why he hasn't been confirmed as the actual Reed Richards. Like, because there's a real good chance that they didn't want him to do it. So it could it's just a whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Who would you want? Actually, I don't even know what characters are left. I was gonna say, who would you want to be in the King Dynasty, and who would you want to be played said character?
Who would I want in King Dynasty?
Yeah, like what would you want? Like, well, I guess not really King Dynasty, but like who that is left. Would you want them to make a show or movie about for Phase 6 that would, I guess, have an impact in the King Dynasty?
Nova, Adam Warlock.
Well, Adam Warlock's gonna be in Guardians.
Yeah, but I think a TV show for him would be cool because we saw him in Guardians 2 in a body bag. Yeah. And now we're seeing him now. So I think a backstory of like what he was going through, I think that would be cool. Those are probably the only two that like I could see being any relevant. Like you could make a case for Ghost Rider. You could make a case for Silver Surfer. But I'd probably just say either Adam Warlock or Nova. Probably Nova because we haven't gotten anything from him. And I like that character a lot.
I would, I would just like to see, the X-Men. See who they would do as the X-Men. I don't know.
I just want to see a Gambit movie. I love Gambit.
I want to see an Iceman movie. No, just kidding. I don't want to say that.
I want to see Zac Efron as Gambit.
Why Zac Efron?
I don't know. He kind of looks the part.
I want to see The Rock as
No, I don't want to see The Rock in Marvel.
You don't want to see The Rock in Marvel?
Not even a little bit.
Oh, you're crazy.
No, I'm not.
It's The Rock.
I don't care.
I want to see John Cena in Marvel.
I don't.
I do. I want to see some more wrestlers. Now that Dave Bautista's gonna leave,
I don't.
I need some more wrestlers.
No, you don't.
No, hold on. I watched John Cena in Bumblebee the other day. He was pretty solid in that movie.
I don't care. Not John Cena.
Why not John Cena? All right.
He sings with imaginary cows.
All right, then it's The Rock then.
No.
All right, fine. Logan Paul. There you go. Okay. You would rather have Logan Paul than John Cena and The Rock?
No, if any one of them made it inside of a Marvel movie, I'd stop watching Marvel. Find other people.
Find other people than The Rock?
Yes.
Okay, whatever. I think The Rock would be a fantastic addition to the MCU, but
with what character?
Miles Morales.
Shut up.
No, I don't know. They could recast Hercules.
No, Hercules has hair.
They can change. Black Adam had hair.
Hercules.
He could be. All right. Well, comment down below. Oh, actually, never mind. He's already been in a movie. I was gonna say Howard the Duck.
Yeah. I need more Howard.
Mm-hmm.
If Howard's not the one that kills Kang, I don't want it.
No, it's gonna be Deadpool. No, all right. Hear me out though. Not with Deadpool, but just hear me out with this. So how upset would you be, all right? Okay. If Kang killed all the Avengers, that's like starting to get toward the end of the Kang Dynasty movie. So yeah, he kills all the Avengers, and then all of a sudden, She-Hulk comes out of nowhere, breaks out of the screen, and then goes back to Marvel Studios, and be like, "Hey, what the heck?" And then brings all of them back to life, and then all of a sudden, Kang's just dead.
Out of the theater. If there was some crap that got pulled like that, then I'd be pissed. Like, I'd be livid. Because by all means, like, break the fourth wall and whatever. But if you die and that's what you do,
that's a fucking.
Then I don't respect you at all.
Bro, that's fucking them laughing in your face.
Yeah.
Like, haha. Tee.
Like loser.
Loser. You spent all your money.
Yeah. I'd be so mad.
Alright. Well, yeah. So we're going to call that an episode. Yeah, fun little episode without James. So, casual talk. Casual talk podcast. Geeked Out podcast.
Nobody getting mad at each other.
Yeah. I was honestly surprised because I thought, like, I would say something like, Marvel just needs to do this, and be like, how dare you say that Marvel needs to fix that? They have been perfect about that. That's the one thing that they've been right.
Everything that you said, I was like, man, I agree.
Yeah.
Besides, like, the whole connecting thing but that's just because I don't see it like you're seeing it. But yeah, they need to fix the writing. They need to calm down, take their time. They need, it's a lot of behind the scenes things that they need.
Yeah. And like I said, I could be wrong too, like, about the whole connecting thing. Like, King the Dynasty could come out and, like, then connect everything, and I'll be like, oh my god. But as of right now, that's just how I see it through my eyes. Right. But yeah, let's just call that episode. For those sports lovers out there, next week, hopefully, we'll be having, the GOAT conversation for basketball. We were supposed to do it this week, but James decided that sleep was more important than the podcast. But but me and Jaden disagree with that, which is why we are here doing this podcast for you guys. And, we're trying to grow and do all that stuff. So once again, make sure that you follow along on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you are listening to this and you hear our sexy voices as we talk. But yeah, go ahead, follow it. And you can also watch along, see our reactions when Jaden says something stupid, like, it wasn't that bad. What? It wasn't bad? You watch along on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe at Officially Geeked Out. You could also check us out on TikTok and Instagram for highlights of the podcast. Like I said, we're going to be trying to do more, get the word spread out, get Geeked Out spread all across nationwide, international wide. And I know Jaden is
on your side.
And I know Jaden is also trying to do that with his music career. With his newest song that he came out with him and our buddy Mikey, named Villains. He's on his villain arc, boys. It's over. Yeah. So you can check that out on pretty much every streaming platform. Just go ahead, check out J-Mac. And then, like I said, we'll do one more plug for Jaden and Jonah's podcast, the Pop Culture Roundup podcast, pretty much everywhere. So yeah, go check all of our content out. We're staying busy always.
Yes, sir.
Unless we are James, and then we're sleeping. But we are not James, so yeah, we are staying busy. Good night, everybody, and have yourself a beautiful day.
Yeah.